Have you ever felt like your life is measured not in moments, but in debts? I'm not just talking about money, but also the invisible debts we feel we owe to the world. The debt of attention, of care, of just being present. But the one that really shapes everything, the one that's always there in the back of my mind, is financial debt. It's the trap that crept in quietly with student loans, credit cards, and that endless stream of bills. When I first took out a student loan, I didn't see it as a tether. I saw it as a ticket to opportunity, to the so-called American dream. I was told if I just followed the rules, worked hard, I'd make it. That ticket felt like freedom. But over the years, I realized it was a leash. Every payment, every interest charge, just pulled me closer to a life dictated not by my own ambitions, but by my obligations. It's a strange paradox, isn't it? The very systems that are supposed to give us a leg up often end up holding us down. We're told to aspire, to invest in ourselves, to earn our way. But this often leads to a subtle kind of captivity. It's like society is saying, your freedom comes from following our rules, and your security requires you to surrender your choices. Suddenly, we start measuring our self-worth, not by our character, but by the numbers on our bank statement. And this isn't a small problem. People my age, between 45 and 60, carry over $400 to $450 billion in student loan debt, the highest average among all generations. That's a massive anchor, tying our ambitions directly to our anxiety. This kind of debt doesn't just drain your bank account. It messes with your mind. It teaches you to be cautious when you need to be brave, to compromise when you should stand firm. It forces you to make impossible choices between your passion and a stable paycheck, between exploring the world and just surviving. Every single purchase becomes a negotiation with a balance sheet you never really asked for. This doesn't only affect my generation. I have friends, a millennial couple, who plan their grocery shopping around their credit card limits. They choose what to eat not based on what they want, but on what their credit line will allow. It's a strange, stressful intimacy to have with your finances, where money seeps into the most basic parts of your life. But there's a lesson in it, too. Surviving under these constraints builds a quiet kind of resilience, a mindfulness born out of pure necessity. Debt also changes our relationships. I've seen it create tension between partners, siblings, and friends. Conversations about money might seem practical on the surface, but underneath, there's a deep anxiety about who's carrying more of the burden, who can afford to be generous, and who needs relief. Money, which should be a simple tool, becomes a way we measure trust and even love. The constant financial stress feels a lot like trauma. Your heart races, you can't sleep, you're always worried. And in a culture that links your worth to your wealth, debt feels like a moral failing, an invisible scar. But even in the midst of all this, there are moments of quiet resistance. I've seen community financial literacy programs where people learn to reclaim a little bit of their autonomy. Watching them work through spreadsheets, you see more than just numbers. You see them regaining a sense of agency. It's not total liberation, but it's a foothold. It's a reminder that freedom isn't some grand ideal. It's a series of small, deliberate choices we make every day. Ultimately, debt is both a trap and a mirror. It reflects the contradictions of our society, the promise and the betrayal, the aspiration and the limitation. Living on a loan means learning to see the sharp edges of that mirror, where it cuts into us, but also where it leaves openings for hope. So, how do we live a full life under these conditions? Can you still be generous and find meaning when every dollar is accounted for? I believe the answer is yes. But it requires us to accept that freedom is rarely absolute. It's something we have to negotiate, and it's fragile. It exists in the moments we choose to connect with people instead of just performing, when we choose reflection over reaction. Living on a loan becomes more than a lesson in finance. It's a meditation on existence. It teaches us patience, humility, and what truly matters. It forces us to ask, what really belongs to us? What can we give freely? And what do we just have to let go of? In that process, we discover that the true worth of a life can't be measured in dollars. Even when we're constrained, we can still carve out spaces for dignity, meaning, and grace. Thank you so much for watching and for sharing this space with me. If this resonated with you, please consider liking this video and subscribing for more conversations like this. I'll see you in the next one.